So today we're going to pick and pull for a skid plate to go under the transfer case on Big D, which should only be like $20 or something. But we're also just gonna see if we can find anything cool. We have a crap ton of tools back here, and yeah, we're just gonna see what happens.
We're also gonna show you guys, if you're driving one of these, smart things to pick up at pick and pull for when you break this so that you're not stranded.
So what do you say, like top 5 parts to grab at a pick and pull? Top 3? Top 3?
Top 3. Top 3,
We'll do top 3, best bang for your buck. You should definitely grab some extra parts. The best parts to grab out of pick and pull for, what's the frame number on this? It's like
a GMT 800.
GMT 800 frame. Yeah.
Sure. Pick and pull, baby. You're not allowed to bring in anything that makes sparks. So if you're planning on cutting something, you want like a
Handsaw?
well, like you can bring in like a sawzall, like a reciprocating saw.
You want a big socket?
Oh, what size is that?
Huge, definitely.
Half inch? It's a 30. I mean, I don't need a 30, but
I'll take it. Okay, so this is the map. I think so. We're looking for GM full frame, which is the middle, actually.
yeah, it's right over there. Why does it always feel brighter in here?
Because of the metal, man. It all shines.
Maybe you should just get that one. $3 grand. Is it on there? Fudge, boy. Dude.
Just rolling deep.
Why is the seat so far forward?
I don't know. That's weird.
Oh, it's electric.
It is?
Yeah. So in other words, I can't move the seat. Is this a tilt steering wheel? What's going on here? I can't even get into this thing.
Oh, you know that smell? Oh, that dusty smell.
Dusty car smell.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this thing is so tight.
That would be sick.
Look at this steering wheel. It's 1,000,000 feet wide.
This is what would you say, 80s?
I have no idea.
70s maybe,
I
Cadillac?
cannot tell you.
Sedan DeVille.
Okay, I guess this is a good place to go over some front end parts that you would want. So, not what we're looking for, but you can get all of these off of any Silverado, Yukon, Sierra, any 1500 is going to have the same front end. And yeah, this one's in pretty good shape. So, things that I would think about grabbing just to have extras. First, grab a couple of tie rods. Oh, this one doesn't even have a castle nut down on the bottom. So you can just pop this out, take this guy off. So this is what we broke when we were on Chappie the other day. So having an extra one, even if it's not new, even if it's just like, you know, what we did was it's usually the inner tie rod that bends right up here. So we have have those big stainless steel sleeves. So what you can do if you bend one, just pull your old one off, take the big sleeve off, take your newer, better tie rod end, put it back onto this new one, and it'll get you home. Your alignment might be off, but as long as you're pretty good about noting how many threads are on from this point forward, when you take it off, just make sure you take the busted one. When you take it off, just make sure that you keep note of this distance between your lock nut and the end of the shaft, if you will. And that should be the same relative tie rod. So it'll get you close enough. The other thing you're going to want to get is a CV joint or a CV axle, because these also will bust. And so if you can get one, when you pull it off, I'm sure we'll come across another one somewhere in this junkyard. You can kind of give it a shake, feel if it's super crazy loose. You don't want a super loose one, but one that's together will get you home more likely than one that's all busted apart. So another thing, especially on Yukons and Tahoes, a lot of them don't have this. So I actually knocked a chunk off of my front skid plate because my front diff, because I didn't have, so the diff hangs down and a piece of it right over here hangs really, really low. And I came into this kind of gully a little too hot, and as I hit the other side, everything kind of bottomed out and I chunked up right over here. So this, if you find it at a pick and pull, it's like 20 bucks. Yeah, it's not the thickest skid plate in the world, but it's $20 and it bolts right in. Okay, so another common failure point. Wheel bearing. Right here. So you gotta pull this cap off. I don't have a flathead with me, but there's a big, I think it's a 34 millimeter nut on this side. Either way, if you're pulling a CV, you're gonna need to be able to pull the nut that's behind this. So you pop that off, there's a big old nut on there, you zip it off. But where this is a pain is you gotta get behind here. There's 3 bolts. And with the CV in, it's a lot harder. So if you can get the CV out, because when you take the CV out, it's just 6 bolts right back here, 6 15s. Zip, zip, zip. Drop that down, yank it out after you pull this nut out, and then you can kind of check it. This one sounds all right. There's no play really. This is just a useful thing to have extra, because again, this can be if you're gonna run into an issue, it's probably on the front end. And so having all your wear and tear front end parts would be nice. That's why we switched to the Kryptonite upper control arms, because it's a bolt-in upper control arm, or a bolt-in ball joint. So like if we busted this ball joint, we have an extra one that we can bolt in instead of pressing it in. So really you're only like super like, hey, I've got to go get some tools, I'm stranded here, would be this lower ball joint, because you'll need a ball joint puller and all sorts of funky stuff. So that's, I say if you carry an extra one of these, an extra one of these, an extra one of these, you can see this one's bent right at the part where we have sleeved, right? So if you get tie rod sleeves, that pushes your failure point back to here, which is a decent amount thicker. Still didn't hold up that well for us, but you know, this is a relatively easy fix versus like a ball joint or a wheel bearing, but it's a useful thing to have around. So you'll notice low hanging, right? So relative to this cross member, relative to this cross member, this T-case hangs super low. And on the Yukons, some of the Suburbans have them, which it's not like it's a super substantial skid plate, but it's
Definitely gonna help.
$20, you know? So the cross member on the Yukons and stuff already has the holes, but they're not tapped. So I guess that is 5 things.
You did it.
Haha! Transfer case skid. Super easy.
Perfect example. We were just looking around. Matthew found this. It's in way better shape than his grill surround, so we'll grab it. I think they might charge him maybe 40 bucks for, you know, they do trim by the foot, but like comparatively to what you're gonna find that for online, it's way cheaper. So if you can find good like trim panelings, like this door is in pretty good shape. I know I came in here on the Denali's, this is leather wrapped and the leather had completely peeled off of mine. So I was in here, you know, you pull these vents out. It's 2 little latches, pull it out, brand new one. My vents stopped working, grabbed a couple here, cleaned them up. Way better. And there's so many models of these, like this whole front grille is interchangeable across 4 different models of truck, if you include the Cadillacs, which you hardly ever find in here. But you're like, oh, yeah, I should grab one of those, until you get in here and you're like, oh yeah, this is messed up on mine. Let me grab that, you know? So it's always useful. You always, very rarely do you come in and not find something that you're gonna snag. That wasn't anything special. Fender's in good shape.
Oh, that's an airbox cover.
And that's what's broken on yours, right?
Oh. Do we take it? Do we buy it?
I can't remember. Was it just the top that's broken on yours?
I thought it was the bottom.
There you go.
Tight. Just window shopping, you know, very literally. We did it, man.
$26. Transfer case skid.
Not bad. Not bad. $26 later. Rate in terms of importance, one to 5.
1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5 importance for anybody like off-roading or using their
I would
rig
get the
to
skid
camp.
plates straight out the gate, because that's going to prevent you. I mean, if you're like really boony bouncing it, those skid plates aren't super great. So like, you know, it's not going to make you invincible. But your skid plates,
So skid plates are 1 and 2.
yes. And then a tie rod. On the front end stuff, this is like crappy things that you're buying for cheap that you should take with you just to be able to get you home in case you break something. Then CV, then wheel bearing. I think out of all those 3 things, your wheel bearing is probably the least likely thing to break, unless your wheel bearing's already going, in which case you should buy a new one.
But yeah, top 5 necessities at Pick and Pull.
Pick and pull. Pick and pull, baby.
Pick and pull. You pick it, and you pull it, and then you pay for it.